Shalom, beautiful Israel. All praises to the Most High God of Israel. Let's jump right into this here today. We are going to be discussing the documentary, The Age of Disclosure. Now, I want to make this clear. This is not a review. This is not a review because I hope that this discussion will compel you and influence and motivate you to go watch that documentary yourself. And I'm going to tell you right now, this is a bold statement and I'm going to make it and I'm going to stand on it. That was the most important documentary ever produced by any documentary on earth at any time. When you watch it, you will see for yourself. I see why the campaign was so adamant to take people's eyes off of this documentary. I see why the campaign, the hush campaign, and all of the shills coming out and be like, it's not even worth it. Don't bother watching that documentary. I see exactly why they did it. Now, I want to bring this here to your attention. Back on November 19, 2025, NASA, they came out with their so-called, groundbreaking press conference or whatever, right? We know exactly why now. NASA put out their press conference 2 days before this documentary come out because that was a part of that hush campaign as well. NASA purposely, and I need you to pay attention to the positioning now, 2 days before this documentary was released, NASA decides that they want to have their groundbreaking press conference and say, you know what? Nah, it's nothing. It's just a comet. It's just a comet. It's nothing to worry about. Nothing to worry about, America. Don't you worry about American people. There's nothing to worry about. Bullshit. And that's all I'm going to say. Bullshit. And NASA, y'all have so much to pay for. So much. So now let's go ahead and jump into the discussion of this documentary. One of the very first things, this is the thing that grabbed my attention. It was this statement made here. I'm not going to mention anyone's names or anything, but I will speak of some of the quotes and some of the things that they did speak about because I want you to see this here for yourself. One of the quotes made on this documentary, and I quote, "We were unable to maintain sovereignty over North America." I'm going to read that again. We were unable to maintain sovereignty over North America. Why? Those UFO/UAP phenomena in the air. And I'm telling y'all right now, they know exactly what they are. As we go through this discussion, there's going to be more of a reveal at the end, and I'm going to tell you exactly what it was. Now, there's two types of individuals that was a part of this documentary. The first one was an astrophysicist, and the other was a quantum physicist. The study of space and time and quantum jumps of travel. So now when you hear that, right, you're like, wait a second, hold on, what? So now this documentary is getting to the scientific data of what these UAPs/UFOs and their maneuverability and capabilities. Completely out of this world. Unlike anything that America, Russia, China, or any other government was ever able to produce. Anything. So that takes us into the next part of what they started speaking of. Now, for those of you who are military minded and you have some type of information or some type of knowledge of the military, right? I'm going to say these three letters, ISR. ISR. They said that these crafts, vehicles, unexplained phenomena, that they attack the integrity of ISR, that is intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance. Those are the three things right there that make up the threat towards national security. And they admitted that they do not have any control over these things. And these so-called crafts, they have infiltrated every form of government, every aerospace that there is. They completely disrespect and disregard any type of law set by the bounds of any government. They are an immediate national security threat, and they know this, and that is how they are classified, and that's how they will always be classified. Why? Because these governments do not have any control over them. I'm telling y'all truly need to go and watch this, because you can see the fear in these people's eyes as they are explaining it, as they break this down. And I want to say this to those men. I don't care what race they were, because they were black, white, Hispanic, young, old. There were many people, male, female, speaking about this here, right? And I want to make this very clear. I will always stand up for courage. I will always praise courage. I will always make sure that I extend my hand out to the person that is courageous with bringing forth information, knowing the consequences that it has on their lives. And those men, those whistleblowers, male, female, that came up to speak about this here, I'm going to tell y'all right now, hats off to you for your bravery. Because these men were threatened with their lives, with them, their families, and they're like, you know what? We can't hold this anymore. We can't. There's no way that we can hold on to this anymore. That bravery and those courageous acts should always be praised. So now, speaking of the ISR, right? They admitted that these things have attacked American and Russian military. So they're not friendly at all. And they know that they're not friendly. I am going to read a quote to you right now, right? You have to listen to this quote. Listen to this. We were shocked to be getting pushback from the people at the Pentagon because of their religious beliefs. There really were religious fundamentalist extremists within the Pentagon that had a severe adversity to the topic. You understand that? Did you understand what that just said right there? That these men, these whistleblowers, they went to the Pentagon. They went to these government officials like, we have to bring this out. And the Pentagon was like, no, we can't do that. Keep your mouth shut. We will kill your family. We will destroy you. Because this is going to interfere with people's religious beliefs. But wait a second. I thought this was about the science community. Wait a minute. We're talking about astrophysics and quantum physics. So religion, hold up. Whoa, now they starting to talk. Oh yeah, the religious implications are not just there, it's the entire subject. This has nothing to do with science, space exploration. It has to do with religion. I'm gonna read this next one here to you. And I went through and I wrote down some quotes. I'm like, yeah, this should really tip your hat to be like, okay, you know what? I'm going to watch a documentary right now. And again, they're not paying me a damn thing for this. This is not about your entertainment. This is about the information. Okay? Forget your entertainment. You need to retrieve this information and start applying this to your everyday life, because guess what? That's what the world is about to come to right now. Watch this. Listen to this. I had to deal with people who were senior to me, who were telling me in their world that these are demons. And we are poking demons and messing in Satan's world and all these other things. Now, these words are being spoken by government officials. These government officials know exactly what this is about. They know that this is not scientific. They know that this is spiritual. They know what this is. This is why it is classified. Oh, we're going to read some more, though. We're going to get some more. So now, the next part of this. They speak about the legacy program. The legacy program was founded in 1947. 1947. Now, what happened right around the same time? The Roswell crash. Oh, my goodness gracious. So now, If you are unfamiliar with the legacy program, let me just make it very, very, very easy for you to understand. All you have to do is go watch Independence Day that came out in either 95 or 96. I believe it came out in 96. I can't remember which one it was. Either 95 or 96, either one of the two. But the legacy program is Independence Day. And when you watch the documentary and they start talking about it, you will know exactly, if you've seen Independence Day, you're like, okay, that's exactly what this is. And you'll know out the gate, all the way to the emergence of Area 51, the presidents and certain government bodies having absolutely no idea. Plausible deniability is what they call it. That for the president to have, not even a president of the United States, have information about this type of stuff. Why? Because there are other governments there are shadow governments that rule the governments that you see on the surface. They're admitting all of this, family. They are admitting all of this. Now, I don't want to say nothing about being under oath, because we know what we're going to say when it comes to Esau or whatnot. They could not care less about any of this stuff here. But when you're watching this, you see that they're telling the truth. So again, we know exactly why NASA did what they did. We know why they put this their stupid the press conference out or whatnot. It was to suppress this. It was to suppress this here and stop people from going to watch it. And I'm telling you, we have to be the resistance against that. We are telling you, I am telling you, you need to watch this and continue to spread it to other people and have them do it too. This is the age of revelation. Know where you are. And again, this is spiritual, not scientific. This is the age of revelation, okay? Disclosure, the age of disclosure. You have work to do. You have to put this out there for people to get the information. You have got a job to do. Okay, so now, again, I'm going to say this. If you look at this from a scientific perspective, you won't get it. But if you look at this from a biblical and spiritual perspective, this will make all the sense in the world to you. All the sense in the world. All the sense. Because you're familiar with the scriptures. You know what the scriptures say. You know what the scriptures say about these UFOs. You know what it says. And you know that they're not UFOs. They're God's chariots. You know that. We have gone through this. We have had lesson after lesson after lesson, even all the way down to Project Bluebeam we spoke about. And if you look at this from a spiritual perspective, I'm telling you, you'll see everything. So now I want to read another quote. Watch. Look at this, please. The thing that keeps me up at night, something in the human psyche that says, I don't have time or energy to sort of prepare for the unforeseen or what I've never seen done before. And that leads to strategic surprise, and sometimes strategic surprises that change the course of human history. These are the quotes that these men are bringing out. Again, I cannot emphasize the magnitude of the importance of what it is for you to watch this documentary. Because everything that they disclose, well, I can't say everything, that's an absolute. A lot of the things that they disclosed, surface level, they brought out. And you have to understand, being, for one, you got to think like a government official. They're never going to come out with this information. Never, ever, ever. Why? Because if they do, it is a threat to national security and they're going to lose control of the people. There is not one government on this planet that has an interest of losing the control of the people. Okay? So it's just not going to happen. So don't give yourself this false sense of, well, the government will one day come out and speak about it, because the truth is they won't. They'll show up before then, and then the government will have no choice but to speak about it. I want to read this here too. The long-awaited Pentagon report on IFOs has finally been released. The director of the National Intelligence just a few days ago released a new report on 144 sightings. I'm going to read that again for those of you that did not pick up on it. The long-awaited Pentagon report on IFOs, meaning identified flying objects, because they know exactly what it is, has finally been released. The Director of National Intelligence just a few days ago released a report on 144 sightings. Why that number? Why that number? We speaking about government? But wait a second, I thought the 144, I thought that was a biblical number. And again, they're speaking about spirituality and religion. And then, so precise of 144. Come on now. Come on now. Come on now. Yeah, y'all not stupid. Y'all are not dumb. So now, we got to ask, why are these adversaries pushing back the truth? Who are these adversaries pushing back the truth? Now, guess what? They told you exactly who it was. The CIA, the U.S. Air Force, the Department of Energy and defense contractors. Now, the CIA, we've read their documents and everything already. We just did that for last year and all throughout this year too. The U.S. Air Force, we know exactly what it is. They're the ones that are going to go up there and go fight them. Right now, the Department of Energy, right there. That one should have gotten your attention. What does the Department of Energy have to do with this? Huh? The Department of Energy? The United States Department of Energy? Oh, you mean the same people who are responsible for monitoring and maintaining the distribution and the use of nuclear missiles and nuclear weapons? There is a piece in that documentary where they're describing, and many of you may have already seen it because we've seen the video already, where one of the UFOs, but I'm going to call exactly what they are, one of these angels, went directly to a nuclear warhead and zapped it and completely destroyed the nuclear warhead. And this man got on there and said that it did that to all of their nuclear warheads. Remember in the scriptures when the Father said they are not going to allow anything to hurt the grass or the trees or anything like that? You're watching it. Oh, this documentary? Oh, it talks about all that stuff there. That's why you need to go watch it. And then the next part that it talks about here, it speaks about China and Russia. Gog and Magog. Why? All of this here that we read in this Bible is in his documentary. This is why the Father says, study to show thyself approved, because there is no reason why you should not be able to look at that documentary and then start pinpointing exactly the scriptures that come up. I'm telling you, that's how great this is, and that's why you need to go and watch it. The next part, they admitted that the President of the United States has no control or power over this topic. They admitted that, came right out and said it. And we talked about it a little bit earlier in this here, the plausible deniability. They even show that in Independence Day. As a matter of fact, I think they even used the term plausible deniability in Independence Day. Somebody could probably check it and quote that and check me on it if I'm correct. But the reason why they say that they don't want the President of the United States. Now, remember, this is supposed to be the leader of the free world now. And not just this government, but world governments or whatever, because of the effects that it can have on the public. Many of you may remember a man named John F. Kennedy who received information in regards to the space program and UFOs. And what happened? He was getting ready to come out with that information and they popped out his skull on national television. Blew his brains out over this topic. So what do they say? What is the danger of them releasing this here to the public or whatnot, right? What's the danger of it? For one, they say that the effects on the public, psychological, sociological, theological, and philosophical. Psychological. Many of us are already going through the psychological aspects of everything right now when we see these things outside. The very same things that they show you in this documentary, I showed you right here in his family. I showed you in his family, on this channel, YouTube and Instagram. It's the very same things. It's the same things outside that I showed you. The very same things. The very same. And I'm not gonna lie to y'all, that made me feel 100% great because I know who it is out there and they know who it is too. That's how they know who to bother and who not to bother. They know. So let's talk about the psychological. The psychological here is being able to see those things or whatnot, and they already know that people are going to go into a mass hysteria. Now, there's those of us in this truth, Black, Hispanic, and Native Americans, right? We know what those things are out there. 1/3, but there's the 2/3 that have absolutely no idea, and it's going to cause them to go absolutely insane when they start to get closer. Because remember, these things are light. I don't want to give that away because they speak about that in the documentary too. Like I said, I want you to be able to go and see it. Now it speaks on the sociological part of this here, the sociological. How will you be able to live on earth after seeing what you have seen? These are all the different things here that they are thinking about. You know, they're like, well, why will we disclose this here to the public or whatever? And I'm not a government official, you know, so I will not agree with them because I'm on the opposite side of it. But if I was on the government side of things, I could understand why they would think like this. But ultimately, it's like, yeah, I can't do that. You have to disclose the information. You have to, because they don't want mass panic and mass hysteria. But guess what? This is what they caused. If you were upfront and honest about it in the first place, then you wouldn't be going through this. But now they have put themselves in a situation to where all of these things are going to happen. So now we spoke about psychological, sociological. So now the theological, the study of God and religion. They will have no choice but to disclose that. They don't have a choice. They really don't have much of a choice now. Because we know what those scriptures say. And we have evidence. Well, I would say this family right here, we have not only evidence, we have close-up evidence of what they are. Exactly what the scripture described. And right here in this family, outside of my house, I can go right up there, put a camera up, and film them. Then the philosophical. The person that's going to be able to come out and explain this type of stuff here. As you can clearly see, these government officials can't. So guess who it's going to be? People like me. I've been bringing this out for the past 7 years. And the only thing that this documentary is doing is confirming everything that I've told y'all since the beginning. Since our very first lesson on this type of topic, NASA, they know what's coming. The only thing that the Most High did was allow this to validate everything that myself and other people that have been speaking on this have been saying. And so now, I'll go ahead and wrap this up here. There's a portion in this documentary that speaks on the CIA document, the CIA program that is titled 12333. I'm going to say that again because I know that there's some of you who just picked up on what that was. There is a literal portion in this documentary that speaks on the CIA created group and document that is titled 12333. If you don't know what that number is, 1233 or 12333, those are the two variations of the very same thing. That is the numeric value of an angel. I'm going to say that again. That is the numeric value that these world governments constitute as an angel. So they know exactly what they are. They know exactly what they are, all the way down to the biblical definition of it. That the CIA know that these are angels in the sky. They know it. And they admitted it in this documentary. And that is exactly why you need to go watch it.